The Simulation, the Netflix of AI. This is about Showrunner, a new AI-powered streaming platform launched by, is it Ed Sachi, the founder and CEO of The Simulation. So this tool lets users create and customize their own TV episodes using AI. So it's aiming to be the Netflix of AI, which is pretty wild. It allows users to generate dialogue, characters, voice acting, and more based on prompts, and over 50,000 registrations already. So it's attracting huge interest from Hollywood filmmakers and sparking industry debates. Listeners, if you haven't already, you should go do a quick Google search and have a sneak peek of some of the teasers and episodes already out there. Yeah, David, what are your thoughts on the future of entertainment?
Well, this thing's super cool. The crazy thing is that we've only really just had a massive shift probably in the last 10 years where, Netflix and the other streaming services, from Prime and whoever have really taken over entertainment, and the traditional film industry is now, it seems like it's sort of in a decline. All the A-list actors and directors and whoever all now produce and, star in films on Netflix and even TV shows. If you go back 20 years, you wouldn't catch any A-list actor in any TV show ever, right?
Yeah.
So it's been such a massive shift already. And then now we're seeing essentially like a choose your own adventure type of entertainment. Like, are we going to have basically fully personalized entertainment where every single person only watches content like meant for them in a way? Showrunner is putting the viewer in the producer seat where you can just create something, and of course other people can watch it, but you can create what you want to watch. It's really going to turn things on its head if it actually is good. So that's the second thing. I'm sure it can already create sort of a short episode of something, but is that something that you yourself will want to watch, or would other people actually want to watch it? A 5-minute clip is very different from a 1-hour episode of, gripping drama. There's obviously a huge difference technically and creatively between those two things. But this is a really cool development. I'm really keen to see what it really looks like. They've already got a show on their website of something that they've already created, basically through prompts. It's like a cartoon called Exit Valley, and yeah, it looks really cool. Like, you can go check it out. The dialogue is AI generated as well, so it's kind of a little bit. I mean, it's not at the quality that you would expect of a professional voice actor in a show that you're watching on Netflix or wherever, but the fact that this was created through a text prompt and making some changes to other settings is really cool. The guys who created this, actually, they have a post on their Twitter account from July last year where they had an example they used. They trained the system on South Park, and they said, we're not releasing this because it's not our IP. Fair enough. And they had it's basically like a demo where you would choose the characters, you would choose the backdrop, and then you would type the prompt, basically a little synopsis of what's going to happen in the story. And then it created all the animation, all the dialogue to fit that prompt. So if it really is something like that, then it's going to be really cool, at least just to play around with. We've been talking about AI video. If the video gets really good, that it becomes photoreal, and then you combine it with this ability to create your own show, it's going to be quite amazing.
Well, I think this is basically Hollywood's worst nightmare come true. But look, all the talk about the whole strikes that happen, and the everybody securing rights in terms of AI, or when they struck that deal with the streamers and the platforms, etc. I guess you can tell right now that was all justified, right? Because these actors, they definitely are being threatened. But I mean, look, I have some reservations about this because it's very it sounds very exciting, and I think once it comes out, it'll definitely be very interesting to play with it to see what you can create. But I'd be very doubtful that you can create something of actual good quality that you would watch beyond the fact that I made this happen, I generated this, so it's fun to watch, right? I doubt you can produce actual quality content right away with the current tech available. 5 to 10 years, who knows? But right now, I think being realistic on what this is, it's a very good early demo of what's possible, I think. And we'll see where it gets to, because I think it's more a case of, if this product goes out there, it garners attention, it starts getting users, it starts getting the VCs also paying attention and whatnot. They probably then get all the funding they need to develop into something that could potentially produce something that is, like a commercial production quality, maybe in 3 years, 5 years, whatever amount of time. I'm not really expecting that this product's going to come out and we're going to start creating our own shows that we want to watch, because I just don't think the tech's quite there yet. Based on what I've seen, especially dialogue and stuff that's generated by AI, it's still clearly a little bit off.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, like, not to minimize the work of graphic artists or even video artists, but there is a difference between generating like an image or even a video of some animation or even something that's photoreal, and creating a gripping story with, good character development that really makes you want to watch. Who knows, maybe we'll get to the point where large language models are good enough to do something, to create something that is as good as what our best, script writers can achieve now. But it seems like I'd be very surprised if we're anywhere close to that at the moment, even with this new showrunner site that's coming online soon.
So I'll have to stay tuned to see where that heads. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one, like watching content that you only create yourself or just with your friends. Like, I think that's such a point of conversation usually is, what television series you're watching and talking about it. But if no one's really watching the same stuff, it's going to change the conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, like it is something that people talk about with each other, right? Like, oh, did you see the latest episode of whatever show? And, it's like, it drives popular culture as well. So if there's no common element, then what will pop culture actually become? And this is not just in video and TV and movies, but also music and literature and what have you. If no one is reading or watching or listening to the same things, then like what will we actually share in terms of, pop culture and just even the culture generally? Like, what does everyone basically diverge and everyone just becomes their own thing? I mean, does that mean we like lose our identities? There's so many other questions that come up with this stuff.
So true, isn't it? We the ladies of Creo actually got in an argument with Inoki the other day because he hadn't watched Yellowstone. So if you haven't watched Yellowstone yet, you better get on it.
I haven't.
I have not either.
Goodness, I knew it.
But look, see, this is the other thing. I actually read a critique of Netflix model just a couple of weeks ago, I think. It was interesting because it was something along the same lines as what we just discussed. The critique was based on the fact that how Netflix just likes to release everything all at once. The article suggested that this was actually sometimes affecting the success of a show, because sometimes the success of a show is based on episode released in 1 week, and then when that one episode's released, you get everybody watching, trying to get in and watch it. And then there's no discussion happening on social media, whatever, discussing about what happened in the episode, what's going to happen next time, what might happen later, etc. But when you do the whole season release model, the binge watch model, it just all gets dropped and people watching at their own pace. Nobody's necessarily watching it all in one go, and you don't have that social media discourse where everybody's talking about that kind of thing. And the argument was that for some shows, they would actually really benefit from this, and the fact that they didn't get that actually makes them, it could be the difference between them actually succeeding or becoming a mediocre show that people don't watch much. So yeah, I read a critique along those lines, but then this, potentially would be that dialed up tenfold.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back when, you everything was just on TV, right? You just you watched one episode.
Wait a week.
And it would end on a cliffhanger, and you're like,
everybody's talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the next 7 days, like, you would talk about it, like, what do you think is going to happen? And that's all. It's already changed so much. But I do think some shows do intentionally release like 2 or 3 episodes, and then they'll wait a bit, and then 2 or 3 more episodes. I do agree. Like, you do lose something when everyone can just watch it in 24 hours, and like, they might talk about it for a little while, but then a week later they're on to something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that the other day. Even like our kids have never experienced only having cartoons, at one time in the afternoon, and you don't know which cartoon it's even going to be and whether you're going to enjoy it. But that's the only opportunity you had to actually watch something for you. But yeah, everything's so instantaneous now.